Welcome to a new edition of the South Sound Business Report, where today the subject is hotels. We'll be visiting some fancy ones like this one and some others. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Jeff Rounds. Thanks for being with us today. We're in downtown Tacoma at the magnificent Hotel Murano, the largest establishment from here to Portland, to explore an industry that has about $1 billion in annual revenues in the state of Washington, $100 billion nationwide. The industry did take a hit after the Great Recession, but by 2012, pretty much all of the ratios were bouncing back to where they should have been. Associate Editor, Business Examiner Kott talks to the general manager of this Murano Hotel, Kott.
Thank you, Stan, for joining us today. How is business at Hotel Murano going compared to past years and compared to where you want it to be at?
Well, it's never where you want it to be at, but compared to past years, it's very, very good. Lots of great things have happened, good new business. 2011 was a great year for us. Well, actually, 2011 was okay. 2012 was a great year for us, and we're very optimistic about this year. Meeting planners seemingly are out there again. A lot more companies are spending time and effort on training, which obviously is a big part of a large hotel like this, because we do so many groups and associations, so it's a very important part of our business.
So it sounds like business travel is up. What about leisure travel? What are you seeing on that end?
I think that's been really, really good as well. We've been very fortunate. Being where we're located next to the Tacoma Dome and all the museums and all the things that Tacoma has to offer, leisure traveler, we're seeing a real strong influx of business on weekends and a lot of destination, vacations during the summer months. Chambers Bay goes without saying what an amazing destination, and we're a partner with them on a lot of special packages, and it's been really, really good for our business.
Okay, so it sounds like business is going well. What could happen in the South Sound to make business better for not just you, but other hotels in the area?
Well, continuing to get the word out about all of the things that there are that this city offers. Tacoma has obviously been here for a long, long time, but it's was always a stepsister to Seattle. There's so many things here that people don't realize. I live in Seattle, and I've known Tacoma for many years as a Seattleite, and coming down here now and experiencing it and being part of it, it's just amazing. I think people, once they come down, and once we get them here the first time, it's a whole new ballgame for us.
How do we get them here? What is the Murano's plans to get those people here so they can find out about all the things Tacoma and the surrounding cities have to offer?
Well, we do a lot of different things. We do a lot of cooperative marketing with our other partners in the city. We work with all the other hotels and actually restaurants in the area as well. The convention center is really a great asset to the hotel and to the city. There's a lot of new people in city government here, and then also in some of the main businesses here, the Convention and Visitors Bureau. A lot of new blood there, a lot of changes that we hope are going to drive a lot more business to the community.
Okay, so you mentioned something there where you said you're working with other hotels. Do you not view them as competitors? How do you work with them?
Well, we're all competitors, but we're all also business people, and we know that the better any one of us does as a business, the better we're all going to do. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of business to be had, and we're all focused on the convention center as an amenity to the city and as a major draw for the city. We compete with Bellevue, we compete with Spokane, Yakima. All cities all over we're competing for business with, and we have a world-class facility there that hasn't been as utilized as we all would like it, but there's a lot of real positive things happening now that we're all very optimistic about.
So you're optimistic looking forward into 2013. What are you most looking forward to, and what segments do you think will be going well in 2013, and what might not be going so well in 2013?
Well, we see the leisure segment continuing to drive. We do a lot of group, as I mentioned. There's a lot of new corporate business in this market right now that is really helping drive new revenues for us. And again, the more activity and business that comes into the convention center, that exposure to not only the convention center is exposure to the hotel and all the other things and attractions that Tacoma has to offer. The addition of the LeMay Car Museum last year has just been phenomenal. We have a lot of packages that have come through here that people have stayed with us, several groups, even a motorcycle club came through, that all related to LeMay, and there's just international excitement about that museum. A lot of celebrities have come in and been there and done that, and we have a lot of fun with that. And but we're just very, very optimistic. There's so many really great things happening here, and compared to business prior to 2009, we're on the right track. 2013, 14, 15, all look very positive from the advanced bookings with association business and whatnot. And we just think it's going to be, hopefully going that direction for a while.
Thank you so much for joining Business Examiner today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here.
The casino business is huge in the South Sound, and the Lucky Eagle being one of the major employers in Thurston County. Can you tell us about your business? How long has it been around?
Sure. Well, I've been there 18 years, and we opened up a little over 17 years ago, and was just a table game operation at that time, and slots came in, back in the late 98, 99. And at that time, with the advent of slots, it really, really grew the industry in general. And then that's when you saw a lot of new amenities come in, and lodging and other aspects of gaming. And it has pretty much grown, driven by demand, really. Although we are regulated by the state and only have allotted so many units that are allocated to each tribe. So it eliminates a lot of us from expanding beyond, but others have bought other allocations from machines from other tribes that allowed them to expand even further.
How is a tribal business, the casino and then the adjacent lodging, different from a regular business, say, in a city?
A good question, because as you and I both know, lodging comes in different aspects. You have the convention business that some people focus on, the tourism, business venues. We're more of an amenity to the casino.
Okay.
So really, we build the hotel to support the casino operations as an amenity, so we can provide more aspects and more things to benefit our guests.
And how old is the hotel?
We built our first phase back around 7 or 8 years ago, and that was an interesting process. We were getting demand from our customers asking, we wish you had a hotel because we're in a rural area.
Right.
So what we did is we pretty much set up our business strategically in the beginning, because we always knew we needed to exploit our secondary markets.
Right.
So as we built and matured our database, once we had a mature database that had some more distant demographics, we went in and did a feasibility study to see, okay, well, what would a hotel look like? What would be the appropriate amenities to have with that hotel, and determine how many rooms, and then pencil it out. And came back at around 70 rooms was the number that they said, and so we built it, and that was the beginning of a successful experience and problems.
Well, no kidding with the success, though, because you recently expanded, and we're in the middle of a recession. Somehow You've got a bigger demand and expanded your hotel by 100 rooms. How did that happen?
We underestimated the popularity of the hotel. Most people would say it'd be a nice problem when you're running about 99% occupancy, but it doesn't allow you to it costs you money to take rooms out of inventory, to keep them clean and updated. So it was a good problem to have, and then we went back in and took a look and see what it would take to expand, I think about 4 years later. And so we just now completed a 100-room expansion, so we're up to about 170 units, which we're really excited about, with the pool, with the Starbucks, and some other aspects to it, and additional suites as well.
What are some of the biggest challenges of just running the casino business in conjunction with the hotel and getting people there?
Well, problems really aren't the issue. What we've done very successfully is we both use direct mail, what would you say, social media in general, to draw different coupons and different specials for different levels of our database. So that allows us to draw and fill up the rooms.
And what is your relationship with the Great Wolf? Competition, complementary, how does that work?
No, and actually it's complementary, because we're two different demographics. The Great Wolf is more to the amusement park theme. They also cater to a convention aspect as well. So a lot of people have their convention there, bring their families. The families play in the water park while they have business, and then they join each other at the end of the day, which also helps support us, because we run shuttles over there during the convention trade business, which comes out to the casino. So it does complement, although two different disciplines.
Okay. And finally, to business travelers, are you trying to get that market more down in your area?
Some, but that's not really where our focus is. Our focus really is offering an amenity that now allows somebody to come up and extend their stay, whereas before they'd come up, we would close at 4 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock, and they'd start leaving to get back home, and this allows them to extend their stay and spend a few days with us.
Okay, well, John Setterstrom, thank you for talking about this unique market.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Katherine Kertsman is Executive Director of the visitor promotion effort called Seattle Southside Tourism. This is in the SeaTac area, also includes Kent, Des Moines, and Tukwila.
Correct.
So it's quite a concentration of hotels and motel rooms, isn't it?
It is. It is the largest concentration, or second largest concentration of hotels in the state. We're the second largest destination marketing organization next to downtown Seattle CBB. We have the largest indoor shopping mall, the largest concentration of car rental facilities, 70 full-service restaurants within a 5-mile radius. So we are.
And it's all really centered around the airport.
It is. It is.
Without
that is our
SeaTac
anchor.
Airport, you wouldn't see this kind of development.
That's correct. That is our anchor.
How's business? Has the occupancy been in a good trend?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, for the last 3 years consecutively, we have had an annual increase of anywhere from 3.4 to 6% increase in occupancy. We're actually returned to our pre-recession levels. We're excited about that, and 2013 looks really good. The State Convention Center is projecting a good year, and we'll certainly benefit from compression from the Washington State Convention Center as well.
Now, there isn't really new inventory coming online out here now, is there?
We just opened a brand new Hampton Inn here in SeaTac, and there are confidentially a few developers looking at some lots here as well.
Okay, all right. So as occupancy goes up, then developers start thinking, well, maybe there's new opportunities there also.
Exactly.
How is the lodging sector here different from elsewhere around the state, maybe in the South Sound or in Eastern Washington? What's unique about your business here?
We're trending very within line of all hotel properties in King County, and King County is leading the charge in recovery from the recession in the tourism industry. Seattle Southside, for example, experienced an 8.5% increase in total revenue last year over the previous year. So it's been nice to see that recovery occurring here locally.
So measuring revenue, you're not only occupancy, how many rooms are being booked, but also what is the rate on
Exactly,
those rooms?
the average daily rate. I think that's what you'll see hoteliers in Seattle Southside focus on this year, is trying to bring that average daily rate up a bit.
Is it primarily business travel, or what's your ratio with leisure travel?
Monday through Friday, we're business travel. And then the weekends, you can just see the dynamic change within the hotel property. That's the leisure business. We're going to focus on leisure business in the shoulder season. That's kind of weekends from October to April in coming years. We see that as the greatest opportunity for growth.
So Katherine, let's talk a little bit about the impact beyond your industry, the fact that hotels are being successful now. What is the economic spin-off from that?
Well, clearly our cities recognize, SeaTac, Tukwila, Kent, and Des Moines, that the tourism industry is a critical component of our local economy. And we know that visitor spending really shores up the foundation of our cities, because it is the 4th largest industry in our state. And you can imagine being located close to the airport here, it's important to us as well. And those visitor spending also increase sales tax, which help shore up the general fund for each of our cities.
So do you see a lot of walk-in visitor inquiries?
Here at the Visitor Center, we do. We're very lucky to be 1 block east of the airport and very close to the car rental facility. In fact, this is a new location for us here in SeaTac, and our walk-in visitors have been doubled with this new location here.
And are you able to provide service 7 days a week?
We are. We provide, well, in the summer months we provide 7 days a week, but we are open year-round. And the Visitor Center staff are very talented and friendly and happy to assist business travelers and visitors from all over the world.
Thank you, Katherine Kertsman, Seattle Southside Tourism Effort, for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Brianne?
One of our more prominent local family-owned hotel groups is Hollander Investment Group. They're based in Bellingham, but they have properties in downtown Tacoma and Puyallup. One of the newer properties, Fairfield Inn and Suites. And today we have Phillip DeLong joining us to tell us a little bit about his company and this new site. So it seems that Puyallup is kind of the the hot area for your company. They've invested in this hotel, and then also they revamped their other hotel in the area. What about this area makes them want to invest in it?
Well, Hollander Investments, they've been in the area for about 20 years. Started with the Best Western Park Plaza in 1993, and then opened the Holiday Inn Express in 1998, and then this hotel a year ago. And so I think just Puyallup's been a great, has multiple drivers. We're somewhat close to JBLM. We have the Puyallup Fairgrounds, the new hospital, Good Sam, and Frederickson's not too far away. So I think it's a pretty diverse amount of business coming into the area. And so I think it's just been a great market for our company, and yeah.
So they invested during kind of the down market. Is that typical for hotel groups to invest when maybe business isn't as hot right then?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, it's the timing. I'm more involved in the running of the hotels, but the timing of opening a hotel, it takes so long that you're kind of projecting out maybe 2 to 5 years from when you actually start the planning of a hotel.
Okay.
So I think even if you're starting in a downtime, you're going to be opening maybe into an up market. And so if, as a company, we have the resources to do that, which a lot of companies don't, it's certainly a good time to build and open a hotel. So.
Okay. So you've invested all this money into these rooms. How has it been now that you've kind of doubled your room size? And I know another hotel opened in this area. So how has it been filling the rooms?
Good. I think, we've met our projections for the first year. Obviously, we'd always like to be busier. We'd always like to be full every night. But I think with the 2 new brands coming into the market, what we did was we're not just pulling from the other hotels in the area, we actually grew the market. We had a lot of Marriott people who used to stay in maybe Tacoma or Federal Way who now come over to Puyallup instead of having to drive here every morning from the hotels. And I think when you have other brands coming in, they also attract their loyalty programs. And so luckily I think the market's growing, and it's not just we're stealing from the other hotels in the area.
So speaking of the other hotels in the area, do you have a relationship with them and trying to attract guests to this area? And any tourism marketing plans like that you work with the other hotels on?
Yeah, the brands do a lot, I think, but we do, obviously what grows the market is good for all the hotels, whether they're competitors or not. And so we work with the Puyallup Fairgrounds a lot. The Convention and Visitor Bureau is a huge partner. They're really out. We're all members of the Convention and Visitor Bureau. They're out nationally and sometimes internationally advertising, trying to bring people to this area, to the greater Tacoma area, because also I think if there's events in Tacoma, those sometimes will push business over into Puyallup, and so sort of growing business in the area benefits all. Can't think of any really specific programs off the top of my head, but
That's okay.
Yeah.
So what could be done if you could pick 1 or 2 things to be done locally to get more guests here in Puyallup or just to the South Sound? What would you like to see done, whether it be at the state level or locally? What could be done to increase tourism or business travel in this area?
Well, I think we're always fighting for tourism funding, both at the state level, at every level really. We have local lodging tax that we use to advertise the area, and so making sure that that's allocated to things that actually generate room nights versus something that maybe benefits a resident, and so that grows that fund. Gosh, I think if we could turn on maybe less rain.
Okay, well, I don't know if we can work on that, but yeah. I wanted to thank you for spending this time with us to discuss these issues. Now we're going to go to Holly.
Washington is unique among the 50 states because we're the only one without a state travel or tourism promotion agency. Instead, the legislature has left the industry to fend for itself, basically, when it comes to advertising and revenue. Andy Olson is a board member for the Washington Tourism Alliance and the State Lodging Association, in addition to being vice president with Columbia Hospitality. Andy, tell us, how is the industry doing today? How's the lodging industry in Washington State?
It's doing better. Just like everything else, it's suffered a bit over the last 4 to 5 years with the recession, but it's doing quite a bit better. It's taken some time, though.
So the health checkup is okay, even though there's no overall guiding umbrella?
Well, as you're relating it to tourism funding or
Right.
tourism spending, we're certainly suffering because the private industry is trying to put that back together and replace what the state has left, where the state has left a fairly sizable gap. So that's coming together as well, but it's a work in progress for sure. And the industry is doing better, partly because of the recession, but coming out of the recession rather than benefiting from any activity of Washington Tourism Alliance.
Well, specifically, let's talk about business tourism, business lodging. How is that doing?
It's coming back as well, just like so many businesses. It has come back. It's not there yet. For the state, if you look at the state in terms of lodging, occupancy has come back to the point where it's at pre-2008 levels, but in terms of the average rate, we're still waiting for it to come back. So we're expecting in 2013 on a statewide basis that it'll probably reach the 2008 levels.
So for business specifically, is there a growth factor that's going to be coming up then, do you think?
Well, it's going to be growth. It's going to be kind of the natural growth, but in terms of business travel,
Right.
For a long time, businesses were cutting back on travel,
Right.
simply because of the economic times, and they're coming back. Tourism in general is coming back as a result.
Let's talk about the South Sound. How is this region different from the rest of the state when it comes to lodging?
The South Sound is really somewhat reflective of the rest of the state. It had its dip after 2008, and it's shown some resurgence. There hasn't been a lot of development that's happened. There wasn't a whole lot of lending in terms of dollars available for lodging development. So it's coming back much the same as the rest of the state has.
Is there lodging development in the works now, particularly in the South Sound, even though maybe occupancy might not be up as much? Where is the building of hotels and lodging?
There is some building that's going on, but funding is just coming back. There was no funding for or financing for it, so it's been difficult. So we're just starting to see it coming now. And it's, a lot of times lodging development is counter-cyclical. It'll start at the trough so that it opens when occupancies and demand have come back up.
So when people have more money, when businesses have more money to spend on travel, the rooms will be there.
Hopefully the rooms will be there, but it's a timing thing. It's availability of funds, it's availability of sites. So there are a lot of moving parts to it, but there is some development in the South Sound, but much the same as the rest of the state. There's not a whole lot.
Do you see any niche of the lodging industry, and for business travelers in particular, growing more than others?
So much of it has to do again with financing and funding. So a lot of it is the smaller properties because they are less expensive to develop. There's less risk associated with it. So it has to do with, again, those other factors that we've already talked about. So there's some coming back, but you're not seeing the mega hotels. You're not seeing the larger hotels coming to be.
Tell me economically, the lodging industry, how does that impact our state? Tourism is the fourth largest industry, but lodging itself, how does that impact the economies?
Well, lodging, the lodging industry is a big employer. It draws people. People are drawn to the state, and we accommodate them. We provide rooms. In many cases, we provide food and beverage. So it's a significant portion of the tourism industry.
Okay, and tell me, big picture, next 5 years, what's going to be happening? Do you have any vision for that?
There's not, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So there's nothing significant on the horizon. We see a lot of greening initiatives. We see things especially in our state and in the Pacific Northwest, we see more greening. There's so much more going on with social media. There's so many things going on on the internet. So the changes are not necessarily with the buildings themselves, but more with the way they're operated and the way they market themselves.
Andy Olson, these are great thoughts. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And that's our program on hotels and the hospitality industry. We've put a link on our website to all of the properties that we've talked about today. Go to businessexaminer.com/SSBR. Thanks to Mobility Media Design for its help. Richard Aronson is our producer on this television program. We invite you to come back to us again, same time, same station next week. We'll have another episode of South Sound Business Report.